Yo, 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 what up, what up, what up? This is Toby with Online Security, and we are back with another quick video. This video here is going to be about creating virtual machines in AWS. The reason we are making this video is because a lot of the projects that we're going to be doing moving forward will be based out of these virtual machines. If you're not familiar with AWS, they do refer to their virtual machines as an EC2 instance. So if you hear me say EC2, I'm speaking specifically about an AWS virtual machine. It is pretty simple, pretty straightforward to make these. It should only take you less than 2 minutes, honestly, after you become very familiar with it. There are several ways to make these virtual machines, to make these EC2 instances. I'm going to show you what I believe is the easiest way for most people, and that's going to be through the GUI, through the console. So if you do not have an AWS account, please go to aws.amazon.com and create an account. Most, if not everything we're going to be doing here will be free. Okay, most, if not everything will be free. If you are charged, it should not be a large fee. However, please keep in mind of what AWS considers to be a part of the free tier and what is not a part of the free tier. Okay, so do a little bit of Google searching on that. And before we jump into it, I want to give a big shout out to all of the new subscribers. Thank you, thank you, thank you. Thank you for all the comments, the questions. You all are keeping us on our toes. Please keep it up and let's dive right into it. So we are going to, I'm already logged into my AWS account, right? Once again, when you log into it, you might come to a dashboard. Here, let me go to home. When you log in, you might come to a dashboard maybe like this. Obviously, you won't have any constant usage because it may be a clean slate for you. What we're going to do is create an EC2 instance. What's an EC2 instance? Virtual machine. Okay, so we're going to come down here to EC2. If you don't come to this home page that I'm on, you can simply select this icon right here for all of the services and type, or you could type EC2 or just look for this EC2, right? So I'm going to go to EC2. This is the EC2 home page, right? It'll show you your resources at a high glance. You'll be able to launch an instance directly from here. I won't do it directly from here, but you can. Okay, I'm just going to select my instances, or I can come over here and select instances and it'll take me to the same page. You'll see all of my instances, but I want to filter based off of the ones that are running. I have one that is running. So what I'm going to do is create another one. We are going to create an EC2 instance. We're going to create a virtual machine. This virtual machine, just like the other ones that we're going to be using in future projects, are going to be based out of AWS. To create one, we're going to select launch instance. And if you all are liking this video, please don't forget to smash that like button, y'all. Smash, 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 smash. We're going to call this instance, let's just call it O-line security. Okay, it will be called O-line security. We're only going to create one. If you want to create more, let's say you want to create 1,000 for whatever reason, you can just switch this number to 1,000. For this video, we're going to create one. Here are the AMIs. We can pick the AMIs in another sense are the operating systems your EC2 instance will launch. If you want to make sure that you're staying within the free tier package, I would select this Amazon Linux AMI. Okay, this is the AMI that we're going to be using for most, if not all, of our projects. If you did if you looked at our how to configure Vault project in one of our recent videos, we use this AMI. And as you can see, it is a part of the free tier package. Okay, so we're not going to change the architecture. We're going to leave it as it is. The instance type, we're going to leave it as a T2 micro. We don't need anything larger than this for what we're doing right now. All right, if we do need something larger in any of the future projects, we will mention that. The keys. Okay, your keys, you need a key in order to provision any of these EC2 instances, any of these virtual machines. This is how we're going to access them. So for the sake of the video, I'll create a new one. So I'll create one and we'll call it O-line security. O-line security 1962. Okay. The key pair type, we'll leave it as RSA. Most of us are familiar with this algorithm. It's a asymmetric algorithm that's going to create a public and a private key. We are okay with the PIM format. If you are using PuTTY to SSH into your machines, then you need a PPK format. All right. Most of the time we should be okay with PEM. It's easy to convert it over to PPK. For now, we're going to leave it as is and select create key pair. As you select it, it will download the private key to your local machine. That private key you will need to log into your EC2 instance. Security group. We're going to create a security group. Some of us may already have some, so select your existing security group. I don't like creating security groups just to create them unless we're going through a learning process like we are now. You want to make sure you're keeping track of all of your security groups. What is a security group? This is what AWS uses to control the firewall, or it is the firewall. We can control the traffic going in and out using the security group. So it essentially is a firewall. This security group that we're creating, why are we creating it? Or how do I know we're creating it? Because we have that option selected. The security group we're creating is going to allow SSH traffic. What port does SSH use? Somebody throw it in the comment section. What port does the standard port does SSH use, secure shell use? We are going to allow SSH traffic from anywhere, okay? We could allow HTTPS or HTTP. Once again, we could, but we're not going to. If you know what ports HTTPS and HTTP uses respectively, please throw that in the comment section as well. Let's teach everybody something while we're going through these videos. What port does SSH use? What port does HTTPS use? And what port does HTTP use? We're going to allow SSH traffic from anywhere because we need to access our virtual machine. No one else should be able to access your virtual machine because they don't have this private key that you created here. All right, next, we're going to leave the storage volume root storage at 8 gigabytes. This is fine. We don't need anything crazy. This is good to go. We're going to launch this instance. Before I launch it, let me just do a quick overview. All we did was create a name. We left the number of instances as 1. We selected this Linux AMI, Amazon Linux AMI. We're leaving the architecture as is. We're using the T2.micro instance type. We created a new key. We're creating a new security group, and we're leaving the root storage volume at 8 gigabytes. So let's go ahead and select launch instance right here. This is going to take maybe a minute or less to finish up. While it is booting up, I'm going to go to instances here. I'm going to refresh this, and we can see the new one called O-Line Security is initializing. If I select it, you can see all the details here. You can see it has a public IP, private IP. Okay, you see the instance type that we selected, T2.micro. You can see the AMI, which is the Amazon Linux one we created. If I go to security, we can see the security group that was created for it called launch-wizard-2. You can see the port, port 22. So if you put port 22 in the comment, you are correct for SSH. It is allowing inbound port 22 from anywhere. And outbound, it is allowing every traffic, every communication, every port and protocol outbound. All right, so this should be good to go. Now, if you want to SSH into this from a terminal or a command prompt, what you will need to do is type SSH. I'm typing it here instead of inside of my terminal because I don't want to switch screens. I'm being lazy. What you would do is type SSH-I. The -I is to point to your private key. You need to point to where your private key is, right? The full path is best to use so you don't run into any issues. So SSH-I is telling SSH where your private key is. I'm going to just do, let's just imagine it was in my, let's say C, users, Shinobi, downloads, ID underscore RSA. Okay, -I to your private key, wherever your private key is. Our private key was called O-Line Security, 1962. And then we need to do EC2-user at our public IP address. So whatever the public IP address of our system is what we need to type. So this is what you would type if you are doing it via a terminal or the command prompt. SSH-I. The -I is just telling SSH where your private key is, the actual private key to use to log into your machine. This is the full path and where our private key is, the full path including the private key. Then the user that we're logging in as is going to be EC2-user at the public IP address. This is what you would use or type this syntax if you're logging in using a terminal or a command prompt. Okay, if you're going to That's one way. There are a bunch of different ways to log in. Well, a few other ways. Terminal, command prompt, PuTTY. PuTTY, that is a GUI on its own. So you would just point to, you would click the private key, the PPK file. Another way to do it, which is really simple, right, and should be fairly easy for most of us to do, is selecting this connect button right here. This connect button, you can use the EC2 instance connect, right? It's going to connect to that public IP. It's going to use the username EC2-user. And since your private key is already within the AWS console, you don't have to type it. It knows which one to use. Okay, so we will select connect. And in a few seconds, we should get an active session to our EC2 instance. Here it is. Who am I? Boom. All right, once again, if you are doing this through a terminal or a command prompt, type SSH, then -I, then the full path of the key, and then EC2 user at your public IP address, and it should work. Other than that, this is a very, very straightforward process. Please, please, please practice it. Let us know if you have any questions. Feel free to drop them in the comment section. You all are already doing a great job at doing that. Please keep it up. If you see a question in there and you have the answer to it, please give it your best shot, right? We'll help you out if you need a little bit of help, but please give it your best shot. We are a community working together, helping one another. Other than that, thank you so much. Please don't forget to subscribe and like the video. Peace out.